Hi there and welcome to Loopy Mabel Crochet. My name is Jane. This is my channel where I share with you all my unique crochet designs, tutorials and lots of crochet lookbook ideas too on how to style your crochet. So in today's video it's going to be a tutorial on my latest design, the Charlotte Capelet, which Mabel is wearing here in the pink with a lovely black trim, and I'm wearing the black one with the red bow trim. It's absolutely brilliant new design, really versatile because you can wear it with or without the trim for a different look, and depending on the yarn that you use you can mix and match your trims to maybe accessorise with what you're wearing of the day, your outfit of the day. And it's also a very special tutorial too because I'm giving away one of these that we're going to make in the tutorial to one very lucky subscriber. I'm going to post it to the winner, whoever you are, wherever you are in the world, so it's open to everybody worldwide. So you need to watch to the end to find out more details. But without further ado, let's head over to the overhead camera and let's start our tutorial. Let's begin the tutorial, and today I am using a 5mm hook. We're going to need some scissors, stitch marker and some needles to sew it in the ends, and I'm using this 400g ball of Aran wool. It is 20% wool and it's by Hayfield, and this is more than enough to do the Charlotte Capelet. So let's begin. So we're going to start off with our slip knot. You make your slip knot whichever way you know how. And we're going to start off with a chain. So we're going to chain 152. So yarn over, pull through, 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 and that's how you do your chain. So we need to continue until we've done 152 chains. So if I leave you to work on your chains, and I shall see you somewhere towards the end. So there we've got 152 chains. Now we need to join to form a ring, and all we need to do to make sure that we don't have our work twisted, if you just run your finger down your chain just to make sure that it's not twisted, all the way down to the bottom, and then we're going to insert our hook into the very first chain that we did. Insert your hook and slip stitch, so yarn over and slip stitch to form your ring. Now this tutorial, as I said earlier, is in UK terms, so if you're watching from the US, just be aware of that. So when I mention a treble, it would be double crochet, and when I mention a double crochet, it would be a single crochet. So you just need to be aware of this. The stitches are exactly the same, it's just for some reason we have different ways of naming them. And also this tutorial is suitable if you're new to crochet because I'm going to take you through each stitch, so don't worry. And obviously the beauty about the video is you can pause it at any time and rewind until you are happy with each stage. So you can do this too if you're new to crochet. So let's begin. So we're going to chain one, which does not count as a stitch at all throughout this tutorial. It doesn't count as a stitch. All it does is just raises our hook ready for our first stitch, and we're going to work 3 incomplete trebles over the next 3 chains. So an incomplete treble is yarn over, insert your hook down into that first chain, yarn over, pull through, you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. Now normally if you did a treble you would yarn over and pull through again, but we're leaving it there, and that's why it's called an incomplete treble. So we've done that once, so we're going to go down into the next chain and do that again. So yarn over, down into the next chain, yarn over and pull through. So you've got 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, got 3 loops on your hook, and that's your second incomplete treble. And we're going to do that one more time. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain along, yarn over, pull through, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 4 loops on your hook, and now you've got your 3 incomplete trebles there. And we're just going to finish it off by yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook. And before we continue, we just insert our stitch marker. So just insert your stitch marker just where you've pulled through there. You've got that V shape there. Insert your stitch marker there, and it just identifies where you are going to slip stitch to when you come back around to finish off this row. I highly recommend you use your stitch marker for every row, and it just gives you obviously the marker of where you're going to slip stitch to and you can't get lost. And then just finish it off with a chain 1, and that is your 3 incomplete trebles finished with a chain 1, and that stitch we'll be doing throughout. So 3 incomplete trebles, pull through, then finish with a chain 1. And then we're going to go down into the next chain and work a double crochet. So single crochet if you're watching from the US. So down, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, and that's your double crochet. And then we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3. And then we're going to work our 3 incomplete trebles again over the next 3 chains. So yarn over, insert your hook into that chain, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your first one. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain along, yarn over, pull through, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, down into the next 3rd chain, yarn over, pull through, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 4 loops on your hook. And whenever you've got 4 loops on your hook, you're ready to pull through. So yarn over, pull through all 4, and then finish with a chain. And we're just going to repeat this all the way along. So down into the next one is a double crochet. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Then we're going to repeat and do 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3. 3 incomplete trebles over the next 3 chains. So insert your hook, 1, 2, on your 3rd incomplete treble, 3, 4 loops on your hook, so yarn over, pull through all 4, and then finish with a chain. So let's repeat that again. So down into the next is a double crochet, insert your hook, pull through, and then 3 chains, 1, 2 and 3. And then we'll just do this one more time. So down into that next chain, we work 3 incomplete trebles over the 3 chains. So there's your first, down into the next one, there's your second, and then down into the next one, there's your third. You've got your 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through, and finish with a chain. Down into the next with your double crochet, and then 3 chains, 1, 2 and 3. So we're going to repeat this all the way along. So I'll just recap. You do your 3 chains, then down over the next 3 chains you work 3 incomplete trebles, pull through them all, and then finish with a chain 1. Then down into the next is a double crochet followed by 3 chains. So you repeat that all the way along, and I shall see you somewhere towards the end, and I'll show you how to finish off this first row. And finish with a chain 1, then down into your last chain there, work your double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to slip stitch to that first stitch there that we've got highlighted with our stitch marker. So just pinch that stitch, take your stitch marker out, insert your hook into that stitch, and just slip stitch closed. And that's our first row. Now the first row is always slightly different to all following rows because obviously it's the first row and we've worked through the chains. So for this next row and the following rows, we're going to do 25 rows in total. Always do your chain one at the beginning of each row, and then we're going to turn. So we're going to turn at the beginning of each row from now on. And don't forget where you need to put our stitch marker in. And we're just going to repeat what we did. So we're going to do our 3 incomplete trebles, and we're going to be working into the chain space now for our 3 incomplete trebles. So always in that chain space. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. There's your first one. We'll do that. So we've done 3 in total. So we've got our 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through. And don't forget, we're going to add our stitch marker. Always add your stitch marker. There, you insert it just there. And that will then ensure you know where you're going to slip stitch to when you come back around that row. And then we've done our 3 incomplete trebles, so we finish off with our chain 1. And then we're going to work our double crochet into the chain 1 of the row below. So if you just turn your work sideways, just so we can show you, you've got your 3 incomplete trebles, and then we did our chain 1, didn't we, to finish it off, and that's where we're going to insert our hook into that chain 1. So it's the stitch next to the double crochet. So there's your double crochet stitch from the row below. We're not going to be going into there, we're going to be going into that next one there. I'll just turn it sideways so you can see. We're going to be inserting our hook into that one there. Not the double crochet, the one next to it, very next stitch after that. So insert your hook into that stitch and work your double crochet. And then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 3 incomplete trebles down into that 3 chain space. And basically that's all we're going to do all the way along. So next would be our double crochet, and then chain 3, and then our 3 incomplete trebles into that chain space. So insert your hook, work your 3 incomplete trebles, and then yarn over, pull through, then you chain 1, and then work your double crochet down into that next stitch, the one after the double crochet, and then chain 3, and then we're just going to go down into the next chain space and work our 3 incomplete trebles. So we're just going to repeat this all the way along for every row. So you should have 25 rows completed in total. And don't forget, we're going to chain 1 and turn at the beginning of each row, and we're just going to slip stitch to the stitch there when we come around to finish off each row. Yeah, so if I leave you to continue on doing the same pattern, all you need to do is pause the video and repeat and rewind if you need to, and I shall put the instructions up in the video so you can pause it and refer to it as well if you need. And I shall see you somewhere towards the end of row 25, and then we'll go on to do the rib section. So I'm just at the end of row 25 and I'm just going to finish it off. So I've just done my double crochet, so I'm just going to chain 3 and then do my 3 incomplete trebles, 1, 2 and 3, chain 1, and then do my double crochet and my last chain 3s, and I'm just going to now slip stitch to my stitch marker. So I'll just remove my stitch marker and just slip stitch. So that's our 25 rows. So we're going to finish off and cut the yarn here and pull it through and obviously we're going to sew in the ends at the end, and this is going to form the edge of our capelet because it's got a lovely wavy edge, so I've left that as a pretty detail at the bottom edge. So we're going to turn our work around now, so we're going to go back to the top of our work where we started off with our chain. So we're going to be working on the ribbing neck section now, and we're going to, obviously we've turned our work back round, so we're working on the first row that we did. So we're working on the unused part of the chain that we did at the beginning. So as you can see, those bars there at the top, they are the unused part of your chain, and we're going to be working into those. So we just need to attach our yarn. So I'm just going to insert my hook through one of those unused chains there and pull the yarn through. And I'm just going to secure it with a little knot, like so. And we're going to pick up 76 stitches in total. Now we started off with 152 chains, so that works out as double crochet, skip one, double crochet, skip one, double crochet all the way along. So let's just start off. So we insert our hook and just chain one, which doesn't count as a stitch, go back down into that same stitch and work your first double crochet. Insert your stitch marker. So that's our first one. We're going to skip the next, we're going to double crochet into the next, skip the next, insert your hook and double crochet into the next. Obviously if you're watching from the US, this would be single crochet for you guys. So skip the next unused chain, insert your hook into the next, double crochet, skip, double crochet. So if I leave you to do this exact same as me, skip, double crochet all the way along, and I shall see you somewhere towards the end near our stitch marker, and then we'll go on to the ribbing stitch. So I'm just coming to my last double crochet, so I've just done one there. I'm going to skip that one and just do my last one there. So we're just going to now remove our stitch marker and slip stitch to the top of that stitch. And that finishes this first round of the ribbing. And we should have 76 stitches in total. So now we are going to chain for the height of the ribbing. So we're going to work the ribbing up and down like so, rather than round. We're going to work up and down all the way. So we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And I'm just going to place a stitch marker at the base of those chains that we did on that first row, just so it highlights where we are going to slip stitch and work our final part of the ribbing. And we are now going to work into the second chain from our hook, and we're going to be working through the back loop only, and we're going to be working double crochets down this section. So we're going to insert our hook and work double crochet into that second chain from the hook and work double crochets all the way down this first row. So we should have 9 double crochets when we get to the bottom, and we'll have 9 double crochets throughout the rest of this ribbing. So inserting your hook into every chain all the way down, working your double crochet. And obviously if you're watching from the US, it would be the single crochet. And if you just want to double check that you have the 9 double crochets in total. And that's our last one there. So as you can see, that's how the rib is going to form, and we are going to now slip stitch at the bottom. We're not going to slip stitch into that stitch right below because that's already been worked into. So we're going to move along and we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Just slip stitch that one and then insert your hook into the next one and slip stitch again. And we are going to do that for every time we come to that bottom side there. Slip stitch 2 stitches. That brings us into the correct position for us to now work our way back up the other side of the ribbing. So now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to be working up the side of the ribbon again. Always going to be working across the ribbing like so, and from now on we're going to be going through the back loop only. So we know we've got 9 stitches, so you just have to double check that you're working through the 9 stitches but the back loop only. And you can see that normally you would insert your hook through both parts of the stitch where that V shape is there on the hook, but for this tutorial we're working through the back loop. So there is the back loop, so you're just going to insert your hook into that part of the stitch throughout this ribbing. So let's make a start. So you can see the stitches there, and we're just going to insert our hook into that back loop and work our double crochet. So insert your hook and double crochet through the back loop again and double crochet. I'm just going to continue all the way up the ribbing, so there should be 9 stitches working through the back loop only. And don't forget that last one, which can quite easily be missed. You can see there's one more to pick up. Can be a little bit fiddly until you get going on this. Just insert your hook and work your double crochet through that back loop, and there is your ribbon beginning to form. You chain 1, always chain 1, does not count as a stitch. Turn the work, and we're going to be working back down again through the back loop only of every stitch. Now, as I said, it is easy to miss those stitches on the end, so if you want to add your stitch marker, I would highly recommend it again, because it does help you to identify that very last stitch just there on the end. So just insert your stitch marker on that last or first stitch of that row. So when we come to the bottom again, we don't work directly below the ribbing there because that's already been worked into. We slip stitch into the next and then slip stitch into the next, and we're ready to turn our work and work back up the ribbing again in the 9 stitches through the back loop. So insert your hook, double crochet, insert your hook there and double crochet, and work all the way along to the top. And if you've got your stitch marker in, you will then know that you're not going to miss that last one. And there you can see your stitch marker on the end, so just working into the last ones, and you know you're not going to miss that very last one. So just take your stitch marker out and then work into the back loop of that last stitch. Chain 1 and turn. And that's all you do. You continue on like this all the way around, working up and down, and I shall see you somewhere towards the end near the stitch marker, and we'll join the ribbing together. So I'm just coming to the bottom part of the last row of my ribbing, and there you can see my stitch marker. So I know exactly where I'm going to slip stitch to. So I'll just remove my stitch marker, and I know where I'm just going to do my slip stitch and just insert my hook there. To slip stitch that last stitch there, and now we're just going to put the ends of the ribbing together, and we're going to slip stitch this section closed. So we know we've got 9 stitches, so we just need to slip stitch across the 9 stitches evenly across, and this gives a lovely neat join. So just line up your ribbing, and we're just going to insert our hook through the first one and just slip stitch each stitch closed. So across to the other one and yarn over, pull through and slip stitch closed, and we're just going to repeat this all the way through all the 9 stitches, and just slip stitch through them all just like so. Just line them up so you've got them evenly spaced and you're going through the same stitch on both sides, and just picking up that last stitch there with your last slip stitch like so, and that just gives a really neat finish and a lovely neat join. And we're just going to trim the yarn and pull through, and we will sew in the ends at the end. So that's our capelet finished. Now I'm going to show you how to do the tie that you can thread through the bottom part of the shrug. Super simple, and as I said before, you can change the colour yarns just to adapt to whatever it is you're wearing your shrug with that day. And this yarn I've used has lovely blue tinge running through it, so I'm going to pick out a lovely blue to go with it. And again, this is Aran weight yarn, but you can use any weight yarn for your tie. So all I'm going to do with the same size hook, I'm just going to make my slip knot. And we're just going to chain 250, so it's 250 chains. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, all the way until you have roughly 250 chains. Okay, so I've done approximately 250 chains, but obviously depending on what yarn you're using, you just need to chain and measure to see if your tie will thread through your capelet and then leave enough length to obviously tie it into a bow. So I've got my 250 chains, and we're going to make a little bobble, and I'll just show you my red one that I'm wearing here. So this is the one I've got on, and I like to add a little pom-pom on the end of each of the ties. It gives it a little bit of a weight, so when your tie is draped on your shrug. So all I'm going to do is add 3 more chains. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to yarn over down into that 3rd chain, so 1, 2, 3, count back to that 3rd chain, insert your hook and insert into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. There's 1, and we're going to do 4 incomplete trebles. So there's our 1st, there's our 2nd, all into the same stitch, there's our 3rd, 1 more, there's our 4th. So we have 5 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 5, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to be working down into that space there, insert our hook and work 4 incomplete trebles. So insert your hook, 1, 2, 3 and one more, 4, and we've got our 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 5, and we're going to bring this top section down over to this section. So bring it down, inserting our hook into the base of that pom-pom and just slip stitch. So bring it through and slip stitch, and you have created a little pom-pom. And all we're going to do now is work all the way along our length of chain, inserting our hook, and I'm going to work all the way along this chain with half treble. So yarn over, inserting my hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and work all the way along my chain with half trebles. And I shall see you somewhere towards the end. We'll finish off with our last pom-pom and we'll thread it through, and then that will be our Charlotte capelet complete. Okay, so there I've done my half trebles. I'm just going to finish off with the pom-pom on this end, and it's exactly the same as we did before. So we're just going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're just going to go down into the top there and work 4 incomplete trebles. One more. So we've got 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 5, chain 3, and then down into the base of that chain 3 and work 4 incomplete trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through, bring the top down over to the bottom, insert your hook back down where you first started and slip stitch, and just pull the yarn to tighten, trim the yarn, pull through, and I just like to get both my ends and just tie to secure. And then just all we need to do now is to just stitch in your ends, and then we'll thread it through. Right, so I've got my tie ready and I'm just going to thread it through. So I like to thread mine roughly about 6-7 rows up. So just count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm just going to use the chain 3 space hole. So just insert your tie, and then I just like to count a cluster and a chain and then bring it back up like so, and just over and down and through, and you just weave it in all the way. So I've got it threaded through. I'm just going to finish it off and tie the bow, and there we have our finished Charlotte capelet. Hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. So here we are, this is the completed Charlotte capelet. Hope you like it as much as I do. I really do love this design with the threaded bow. And now this is the one that we did in the tutorial, and this is the one that I'm going to give away to one lucky subscriber. No matter where you are in the world, I'm going to post it to you in a week's time. So today is the 5th of January and I am going to announce the winner on the 12th of January. Now, to be in with a chance to win, obviously you need to be a subscriber subscriber, and you also need to follow me over on my Instagram account, Loopy Mabel. Go over to there if you're not already a follower and follow my account, and you will see a picture of this design there too, with all the instructions on how to be in with a chance. Hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget that lovely thumbs up, and as I say, you need to subscribe to my channel to be in with a chance. And just a thank you to all my over 5,000 subscribers now. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. So please stay tuned and follow me on Instagram, then you'll be kept up to date with everything that I am doing. But until the next time, thank you so much for your support, and happy crochet.